Welcome to the class Forest Root Diseases, and I'm going to talk about this diseases which are affecting the forest in more relevance to the roots. Now, in this course of study, I will be explaining about the name of the diseases, host, causal organism, pathogenic character, favorable condition, or we can call them as predisposed conditions, and the mode of spread, and finally the management method. So root diseases, the first one is damping off. The damping off diseases, it is caused by Pythium afanidermatum, and then Pythium vexans, and Pythium ultimum, and even this Phytophthora. And mostly the host which are affecting is eucalyptus and the neem and so on. Okay, and then there are two kind of emergence or symptoms, pre-emergence and then post-emergence. And if you see that one, pre-emergence damping off, before emergence of the seed, the pathogen could attack the seeds. It may cause rotting, and thereby the seeds will not emerge out. If you dig the soil and observe the seeds, and you will find the rotting around the seeds. And you see that even the germination, even after germination, if this happen, it will not come out of the soil. And thereby all the seedlings will, all the seeds, it will die. And if you see that observe the seedlings, and there is water soaking and then shriveling and browning of stem tissues, and even the seedlings will toppled over and it may be killed. This kind of a symptom we call them as post-emergence damping off. I would like to show this here. You see in these pictures on the left, you can see this that the pathogen starts attacking the roots, and thereby rotting, it will not come out. And you can see here there's a toppling of a seedling here, the infection on the crown region, and thereby, and you can see this thereby this toppling of a seedling. Okay, and here you can see this very clearly that that infection on the seeds and thereby rotting. And the other side, you can see this toppling of a seedling. And here is the case. You can see if you pull out the seedlings and observe, and the typical necrosis on the crown region. So these pathogens, now I have explained what is damping off. It is caused by Pythium and Phytophthora, and how it causes the symptoms. There are two kinds of symptoms I have explained you. The first one is pre-emergence damping off, and the second one is post-emergence. Now, look at this, how these pathogens spreads. Now, this is an important factor we must remember, take it to consideration for the management of the diseases. Now, look at this pathogen. So let us see that how this pathogen will survive. So this pathogen, in absence of a host, it will survive in the soil by producing some kind of resting spores. Say, for example, oospores. So these oospores, when the favorable condition comes, it germinate and releases a lot of zoospores. So now you see that now these secondary primary spread, it is resting spores which are present in the soil, and then secondary spread, when the favorable water is there, it is available in the soil, then these pathogens, it produces a lot of zoospores. Thereby these zoospores, it release into the water, and it will carry. And now coming to this favorable condition. Now, these are the favorable conditions. If it is existing, then only the disease will occur in the field. High soil moisture. How does a high soil moisture will come? And by playing of excess water in the nursery. And even if your nursery is raised on the low-lying area, then Thereby, that water stagnation will be common in that place. Thereby, this pathogen, it starts growing on it. And then that close spacing. So when you happen to sow the seeds, when you keep them in a close, right, and thereby it will have this contact, and then it causes this damping off. And then a high seed rate. High seed rate, if the recommended seed rate is 100 gram per meter square, you have to maintain that quantity. If you put them double, then what will happen? That excess seeds will be there on the bed. Thereby, it will causes the seedlings. It will be it will have this competition for the nutrients and the space and the water. Thereby, the seedlings, it will be prone to this pathogen. Now, coming to this management, and now this cultural management, physical management, biological, and then chemical management. Now, look into this cultural method, that is a no-cost method. The first one is, and we need not to put any input cost or something. Here, we have to take our decision making and put all our intellectual ideas, and thereby we can avoid this pathogen. Like raising of nursery bed, which is the suitable place to raise, and that is your intelligence. You can put your ideas, and thereby raise the seed bed in an elevated place, and thereby we can avoid the water stagnation, and we can get it off from the pathogens. And then the next one is a physical method, heating the nursery. So in this heating the nursery bed, there are two kind of way we can do it. Okay, so the first one is a soil solarization. It's a natural method, and like here, and you can just spread this polythene, in the nursery bed, and keep the stones on the edges, and thereby the solar energy, solar heat, it is trapped into the soil, and thereby the soil temperature will go up to even 5 degrees. So sudden increasing in 5 degree, and that it will sudden increase in temperature, that all the pathogen, it will die. Okay, and this is the best method. We can do it in a summer, and if this sudden increase in temperature, it will kill all the pathogens. Now the next one is here. This the long nursery bed. I have shown this. We can spread this polythene sheet, and thereby we can kill all the germs which are say in the soil. And the next one is the soil burning. You can say this burning, collect all these stubbles, which are available, and spread it on the bed, and thereby you can burn it. And what will happen? It will increase the temperature by 60 degrees. So sudden increasing in temperature, it will kill all the pathogens which are there in the soil, and thereby we can kill all the disease causing germs in the soil. Here you can see this heating, and even we can after heating we can check the soil temperature. It will be around 60. Okay, so all the pathogens which are there in the surface soil, it will be killed. Now the next one is soil fumigation. In this method, we will be using that fumigants such as we can use this formaldehyde. We can prepare this 1% formaldehyde, and after preparing, you have to spray it on the nursery bed, and you can have to spread it with a thin transparent polythene bag. So these thin transparent polythene bags, it will protect the escape of this fumigant. As I said, it is a fumigant. When you spray this fumigant, and there it will be that fumigants, it will be there in the soil, and when you cover it with this fumigants, it will percolate diffuse into the soil porous, and it will kill all the germs which are there in the soil. The next one is root rot, and that root rot is caused by this Ganoderma lucidum. So this Ganoderma lucidum that causes a different kind of symptoms, and that's the disease can be visualized as yellowing, dropping of leaves in one or two branches of the trees. Yeah, just we have to, yeah, there's two methods, as I forgot, that let us go back. There's a physical method. After this physical method, there is two methods, a biological method and chemical method, to manage this nursery diseases. And this biological methods, we can go for seed treatment, trichoderma seed treatment, 5 gram per kg of seeds, and also soil application 5%. And this methodology, I will be taking another visual class for how to do this biological seed treatment, even this chemical seed treatment. And this seed treatment method, I'll put another video on this. Chemical seed treatment method, we can use this carbendazim, that's a chemical, and the recommended dose is 2 gram per kg of seed. Okay, how to mix, how to apply, how to do it, that I will explain in the another class. Okay. So come back to this root rot disease, Ganoderma lucidum. It is more problematic diseases in the forest area, and this pathogen, it used to be there in the soil, and when it starts affecting them, this forest, slowly it will show this yellowing, because this pathogens, it will multiply in the xylem and phloem, thereby the movement of water and the nutrients is affected, thereby this plants slowly it will show these yellowing symptoms on the branches. And over a period of time, as the disease progresses, the defoliation and drying symptoms are seen on the other branches. And if you see this, this is I have visited in the forest area in our place. And you can see this tree is infected with the Ganoderma. On the roots, at the end of infection, it produces a very big fruiting body. And you can see here, there's a brown color, and on the upper surface, it is a brown color. And you can see this, it is in growing stage. And you can see this white color, and this white color, the base. And it's have a lot of porous, and at the end of this, these pathogens, it produce a lot of basidiospores, and it will be discharged into the air and the soil. Okay, so you can see this after death of this tree, this fruiting body, it will be produced. Now you can see here this infection, when it is have a contact with the other roots, and it will easily transmit. That's what we can see here. Now, and this fungus grows extensively from bark and causes the white rot, and sapwood becomes spongy. And the dried trees show characteristics of fruiting bodies of the fungus, which arise from the base of the tree at the soil level that I have shown you, right? And that is a fruiting body, and it is a visible and very hard structure, and that is easily you can identify, right? And now you can see this pathogenic character. If you see that it produces basidiospores at the end of this fruiting body. After maturity, it releases a lot of spores at brown, or sometime brown or light dark brown color spores will be released, and you can easily see in the area. And these basidiospores survive in the soil for even for a longer time. Okay, and when the favorable condition comes, and this basidiospores again, it will germinate, and which causes the diseases. Now, management is we have to remove this bracket. Okay, we have to remove this bracket. You just cut it and put it into the polythene on the spot itself. Okay, and if you cut it and carry over it, the spores will be discharged into the entire field. Okay, to avoid that, cut that fruiting body, put it into the polythene on the spot itself, and then you can carry. Okay, and carry into the remote place and burn it. Okay, so that is it will check the further spread of this pathogens. Okay, and then if we irrigate during the summer month, what will happen is these spores will be germinate, and it will die. Okay, and also we can apply some heavy doses of farmyard manure and the green manure 50 kg per tree. If you apply this much along with 5 kg of neem cake, so what will happen is a tree will be, it will grow well, and it will, it grows a natural, it's a tree become very healthy, and it can resist the pathogens. And also coming to this chemical method, and we can drench this borax mixture 1%. And this borax mixture 1%, how to prepare, and I have already given in a video. Link is there. I'll put it in the description, and you can see that borax mixture preparation, and you can watch this video how to prepare borax mixture and how to prepare borax paste, right? Okay, so now here 40 liters of 40 liters minimum, we have to drench it with the borax mixture. We have to the specific interval, right? At least thrice in a year, and we have to repeat it for 2 to 3 years. Thereby we can control the pathogens. And also we can go for root feeding. Apply the aureofungin 2 gram and copper sulfate 1 gram in 100 ml of water, and even so this is a very specific chemicals which is used to kill this Ganoderma. Aureofungin salt 2 gram plus copper sulfate 1 gram in 100 ml of water, and if it is not available, then tridimorph 2 ml per 100 ml of water, and we have to give this stem injection and then root feeding. These two methodologies are different. I'll show these two things in a separate video. Okay, so there's root feeding as well as this stem injection. And the next disease is root rot that is caused by Macrophomina fasciolina. Most of the leguminaceae trees and other trees are susceptible to this, and jatropha and eucalyptus. And you can see this rotting of root system and the basal portion of the stem, resulting in failure of plant to absorb water and the nutrients. And you can see here in this case, and this pathogen, it's destroy the roots, thereby absorption capability of roots will be reduced. And if you see this symptomatology, and reduced growth, yellowing of leaves, and dropping, reduction in the lateral roots, okay, and the shredding of bark, and then occurrence of sclerotia. At the end of this infection, it produces a minute sclerotial bodies, and which are very minute, and that can be seen on the surface of the bark. And if you see this mode of spread, this pathogen mode of survival, this pathogen survive in the soil as a sclerotia, right? And also it is spreads, okay, and it spreads by through this infected soil. Like if you take out this soil from the infected area, it used to transmit. And you see this pathogenic character, it produces a septate mycelium and producing irregular black colored sclerotia with mycelial appendages. That is a pathogenic character. And if you see this management, so it's soil drenching with the borax mixture 1% and also copper oxychloride 0.2%. How to do it? And we can do it in a semicircle manner. In a year, as I said, twice in a year. So like in first half you have to dig and then apply this borax mixture 20 liters, and then if it is after a 6 month, the another semicircle, you dig it 30-meter depth semicircle, and then you apply this borax mixture, and then you fill it like so. In that way we have to practice. And if you dig it around the tree for a 30 centimeter, will be prone to felling. Okay, so we have to do it in half for a 6 month, then the next semicircle way in half. Okay, and there's the same way copper oxychloride 0.2%. The next one is Fusarium wilt, and this basically this sessile, Dalbergia sessile. This is Fusarium solani and many other Fusarium species which attack this forest trees. Now you see this is symptoms: yellowing of leaves, and this leaves will show this turgidity, loss of turgidity, and the leaves will become flaccid and droop, and epinasty symptoms. And finally, the gradual, this fusarium, it will multiply in the xylem and phloem, and thereby it causes a blocking of a movement of water, and it will causes all kind of these symptoms, right? And then taproot and the stem become very black, and like when the infected early stage, if you cut and open it, the this vascular system, and you see this browning. Okay, it is because of oxidation of phenols on the phloem and xylem region, right? And then discoloration of vascular tissue is also noticed. It is brown in color. Okay, now you can see this is some examples I can say here. So there's a fusarium, and if you isolate, if you dig the soil and take some roots and examine in the laboratory, and definitely you will find this fusarium, right? When it starts attacking, it will be showing this wilting symptoms. And during favorable weather condition, a pinkish cottony mycelial growth could observe on the collar region or even on the trees. And these pathogens spreads through the roots and the soil, okay, and basically spreads through soil. And if you move this soil from the infected place for a filling purpose or any other purpose, if you take out the soil and if you fill it in other places, this pathogen also is carried to the other place. And this pathogen produces a hyaline septate mycelium, a single-shaped macroconidia, single-celled microconidia, and also it produces a resting spores called chlamydospores, okay, and which are intercalary in nature. And you see this favorable condition. This disease is noticed during the monsoon period, and also it appears. It increases sharply in September to October, and mostly it this alkaline soil it favors. The management, if you see that if any infected branches we can remove, or we can go for with treated with lime or gypsum to make the soil pH 6 to 6.5, okay. And also balanced nutrition, okay, balanced nutrition, okay. And this balanced nutrition, like you can apply this manure, and then or you can apply this manure like neem cake or farmyard manure, that will help to it improve the health of the tree, and thereby it can protect this against this pathogens. Okay, so and here this is soil. The pit should be treated with 30 or 40% formaldehyde, and that is a specific dose, 45 ml of formaldehyde plus 270 ml of water plus 35 kg of soil. Okay, so you have to mix it, and the pit has to be treated before planting. It's very important. Thereby, this formaldehyde, it will kill all the pathogens. When the traces of formalin disappears, that fill with the soil after the planting of the tree. Okay, now see that very important, and this is a more problematic in our place. And you can see this verticillium wilt caused by verticillium wilt caused by Verticillium dali. And the crops is a tree bean. Tree bean is widely affected here. And the symptoms, you can see there's a bronzing of veins, and followed by intervenal chlorosis and yellowing, right? And then this is a very prominent symptom, and the leaves will fall off. Okay, and you can see this the drying of leaves margin areas between the veins, and gives tiger stripe-like appearance. And you can see here this infected tree bean, and slowly, this wilting symptom and yellowing, and you can see this bark and this infected one, and this verticillium, and it causes a slow decline, and it will die at the end. Now look at this, the difference. We can differentiate between root rot and wilt. Okay, root rot occurs in patches, whereas in a scattered field, wilt. Sudden death in the case of root rot because the massive blockage of water and nutrient movement, thereby the plants will die. Here gradual will die. So it's a slow progress of the pathogen on the vascular tissues. And the plants can be easily pulled out in the case of root rot, whereas it is not easily pulled out, it is more intact. And bark shredding and rotting of collar region, bark shredding, okay, and that we can see. And in the case of wilt, bark is intact. And no vascular discoloration. Here, this pinkish growth on vascular discoloration, pinkish or brown color. It is due to this oxidation of phenols. And sclerotia seen in affected area, okay, and whereas no sclerotia, right? So these are the differences of root rot and the wilt. Okay, coming to this management, if our specific branches is dying, cut off and apply this Bordeaux paste, or if this wilted tree is more than 50% beyond its recovery, then we can uproot it. Okay, and then we can do this soil drenching in a semicircle fashion. As I explained earlier, this copper oxychloride 0.2%. And the balanced nutrition of a host reduces severity of the disease when organic nitrogen is applied. Okay, and also this is same as I have explained, this pits has to be treated with this formaldehyde. Okay, 45 ml of formaldehyde plus 270 ml of water plus 35 kg of soil. Okay, and we have to cover it with a polythene at least for 15 to 20 days. This formaldehyde, it will kill all the pathogens which are there in the soil. And after doing this treatment only, you have to go for the planting. If you go before that, the pathogen also will be there. Then soil application with plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, 0.2%. If you apply this plant growth promoting rhizobacteria, then it will protect from this pathogen, that is a verticillium. Okay, and then this bud rot. Okay, there's last one, bud rot that is caused by Polyporus zonalis. So it's many species of polyporus which widely attack this forest trees. And quoting one example, this is a teak. But if you see this polyporus, it attacks most of the pathogens. And the symptom, the fungus attacks the hard wood, sometimes softwood. And then initially the fungus causes white molted rot with orange yellow lines, and the later pockets develop the bleached area. So this fungus is used to attack this wood and multiply. And the later stage, if you see them, you can see here, it produces, this polyporus. The fungus is to be there inside. At the end of this, it produces a lot of polyporus, right? Polyporus zonalis, polyporus. So many species are there, right? So which causes this, it produces this kind of, fruiting bodies on the wood. Okay. And if you see this, the fungus produces sessile and hard, rigid basidiocarp, as I shown in the pictures. And the base of the tree, the upper surface concentrically zonate with reddish brown color. The lower surface is shiny white in color. Okay, so reddish brown, and then lower sometime white color. That is a polyporus. I'll show in the practical classes what are the different kind of polyporus, and that I'll show it in a different kind of in one class. So management, so we have to, if it is early stage, and that we have to scoop it out, or we can remove that basidiocarps and apply this Bordeaux paste in the early stage. And if it is more latest, and also we can go for this Bordeaux mixture application in the soil in a semicircle fashion, as I have explained in the previously. Dig the soil 30 centimeter depth in a semicircle fashion around the tree, and we have to apply this Bordeaux mixture. And then for after the 6 months, you have to go for applying this Bordeaux mixture in a semicircle fashion. So in this way, if you do regularly, and we can manage this disease.